Right, we are live, we are live, we're live, we're live, we're live. Hey, guys, it's Old Man G here back again with another. It's been a while actually since I've done something live, but I'm joined with friends, with guests who we're going to go through and introduce. But we are doing a belated Manchester United 2019-2020 season review. Obviously, it's been quite an interesting season for Manchester United, many ups and low downs. So I'm joined by so many fellow Manchester United fans, and hopefully we'll be able to give you a good show this evening. Before, if you're new to the channel, remember to just like, share, and subscribe to Red Devil Studio, and follow us on Twitter, subscribing to the channel, and so on. So I'm joined, obviously, by many people you've seen before and some new faces. So without further ado, if we go for my my right. Everyone introduce themselves, plug their channel. Kieran, you want to start?
Well, hi, my name's Kieran from Red Devil Weekly. Red Devil Weekly is basically a standard Man United fan channel, just doing match previews, reviews, and just talk about the biggest club in the world. Not the best club in the world just yet, but we're getting there, hopefully, under Ollie Gunnar Solskjaer. But yeah, I'm happy to be chatting with you guys, just talking about United and looking back over the season. But thanks for having me, G.
Sure.
Oh, is that me now? Yo, what's good, people? It's me, Chucky from United at the Wheel. I'm your driver at the day today. What you saying, you lot, man? Yeah, my channel is just similar thing, just like Kieran. United stuff, talk about all the lovely stuff to do with United and all the hate that we have to deal with, and talk about banter FC, the man them from Arsenal joke thing. It's what we do. It's what we do. It's all about the love of United. I've also got some other random stuff there still, but don't judge me, innit? Don't judge me, people. But it's all good, man. Hope you're all blessed. Thanks for having me, man. Like G, anyway.
Nah. Pleasure.
Yeah, I'm Tom. Unfortunately, I'm the odd one out of everybody here. I don't actually have a channel or anything, but because I'm starting a new job, obviously, for the last couple of weeks and whatnot. Anyway, but I'm a United fan. I come on a lot of G shows and everything. Kieran's, Chucky's, Shane's. I've been on everybody's channel and whatnot to give my opinion and whatnot. But like I say, thanks for having me on and everything, G.
Appreciate it, man.
Yeah, last not least, Shane from United, man. All things United, simple. Like just obviously just reiterating what you boys have said. Obviously going through everything that's been happening, where we're not, but where we want to be, and hopefully, to Kieran's point, where he's obviously alluded to us not being the best at the minute, but still the biggest. So yeah, man, just wanted to get back to being the biggest. Yeah.
And I have K-Sai on the phone as well, so he's just going to give his thoughts as well. K-Sai, man, just introduce yourself. Can you hear me? Go on. Yeah, go on, speak.
All right, my name's K-Sai. I was first introduced to G's channel a couple of months ago. Just wanted my opinion, and some of the panel tonight inspired me to start my own fan channel. A dead, boring fan channel that has no interest, but we're moving.
Cool.
Yeah, that's basically it. My channel's United Voice, and thanks for G, inviting me on the show. And let's get started.
Let's get started, indeed, buddy. Thanks, man. I've got a comment in saying Samantha Marsden saying we are getting messy. No.
What a start.
I thought she was saying we're getting drunk. She must be drunk because she thinks we're getting messy.
If that's messy, is it messy?
Oh, see. Messiah. Okay.
It's spelling it like a certain football player that we know, and if that's the case, then I don't know what. It's a bit too early, I think. It's tonight, isn't it? No, come on. Chill. So, but thank you for stopping by.
People excited, isn't it? That kind of talk.
So let's get going into it. So the pre-Christmas, obviously, this is obviously a season preview, but I thought it best to kind of start with the pre-kind of Christmas era of Manchester United. The pre Bruno Fernandes era, as he would call it, and I think this picture here summarizes, in my opinion, that era, where yes, okay, we did beat had the Cities, and we did beat the Spurs. That's probably why Solskjaer stayed in the job. But this kind of this result, this 2-0 loss to Burnley at home, epitomized the sort of inconsistency that Manchester United had up until Bruno Fernandes happened. So I'm going to just start with, obviously, Kieran and sort of work around. Before Bruno Fernandes came, how did you feel? How would you have assessed? How would you have rated this Manchester United, in the football club? Where were we? What were we doing?
I mean, we had no direction. We were in disarray past. I think even though in games going towards Christmas, we picked up a bit of the form. We got a few feel-good wins, let's say, against Man City and Spurs. And I think a lot of people thought, you know what, if we can beat those teams, there's a little bit of light left in the tunnel. But I think without kidding ourselves, we knew there was a lot of work that was left to be done. I think at that point as well, at Christmas, very little people can tell me that they thought we were going to finish up in third place. So that kind of gives you an idea of, I think, where we were and where I thought we were. Obviously, the losses against Bournemouth, Newcastle, dropping points against Sheffield, Burnley, and what was the other one? West Ham, and that's late in the season. But all just dropping points against these sort of teams. It seemed like it was a bit of a Groundhog Day for Jose Mourinho's first period. Well, last season at Manchester United, very much Groundhog Day, losing these sort of games, dropping points in these sort of games. And it was worrying. It was really, really worrying. Obviously, you had Pogba out, you had Martial and Rashford picking up injuries as well. There's only a few positives, really. Obviously, seeing Mason Greenwood start to come through. But yeah, before Bruno Fernandes, we really looked lost. We just looked like we didn't have a plan in games. We were looking out for some Marcus Rashford or Anthony Martial to pull us out of the fire. And as we've seen, they weren't able to do that on their own. And unfortunately, we somehow were able to keep ourselves in a place where if we picked up the form, we could get top four, which is either miraculous or shows how poor our competition has been. Either way, that kind of period before Bruno Fernandes came in, for me, to sum up, we were just in disarray, really. We had no direction.
Cool. Thanks, Kieran. Thanks, Chucky. Your thoughts, Chief.
All right. Well, basically, I'm not gonna lie. When the season started, the first half of the season is pretty much how I thought the season was gonna go. Because the way I saw Manchester United, it's like basically no protein. What I'm talking about is you got carbs, 2 slices of bread, no filling. We had a defense that could stand up as far as I was concerned. The forward line, there was no issue there for me, but obviously that centre was missing. And then coinciding that with the injury to Pogba so early on, it just ruined everything, because obviously that's why we didn't get Bruno Fernandes. We were going to try and rely on Pogba heavily in the season, trying to get him to drag us through. But before Bruno Fernandes, I wasn't expecting too much. I'd almost lost love for football. I was waiting for the season just to be over. I don't know about you, but after the first month, I'd bring it up. I was like, okay, that's the season gone. Please, God, can we at least get Europe? That's what I was thinking. I can't lie. I saw some results that made me see that, you know what, these guys can do things, but then if you're not forgetting, it's the same squad pretty much, bar 1 or 2 that Solskjaer inherited and went on a great run, and then went on a bad run. So I knew there was problems there, boy. But how bad it was at times was shocking. It was just, for me, the worst part as well was people looked lost. It wasn't lack of effort. It was just lack of ideas, lack of direction, lack of invention, and work. So are we just talking about before Bruno comes right now? Are we talking about both? Okay,
Bruno,
just before Bruno. So I was just basically thinking to myself, please, God, let us make it to a transfer window without being in relegation position. I know that might sound a bit drastic, might sound a bit ridiculous. I'm not saying we're going to finish in relegation, but without being in that relegation position, which is looking very, very, very likely. And I just didn't know what was going to happen for Ollie. I didn't know what was happening for United. The fans were doing madnesses, going around to Woodward's house to let him know how he feels. It was the weirdest. And also, in that time frame, I saw Manchester United, from being the proudest fans out there to being some of the most sensitive, fragile people. I swear to God. It's almost like almost half of Man United fans, it's almost like they got told that by their girl, you know what? My ex-man was a bit bigger than you know what I'm saying? But it's almost like that. That's how fragile these people are going on. It's ridiculous. Where you can throw any story out in the paper, we bite it, we lap it up, And I was just, to be honest, it was embarrassing to be a Manchester United fan. And also, you know what them was? I got Liverpool fans, bare Arsenal fans, who are my friends, to the point where I don't even argue. I wasn't even arguing. I was like, yeah, I know. Yeah, your team are dead. Arsenal, don't talk to me. I don't care where we are on the table. You're still more dead than us. But that's not the point anyway. But to everyone else, I was like, yeah, I know, we're dead. Yes, I know, we're dead. What do you want to do? Laugh. To the point where people stopped laughing. It wasn't even funny anymore to certain people, you know what I mean? It was like, geez, what's going on here? So, boy, before Bruno, man, disarray is putting it mildly. I was lost beyond belief, basically. Just waiting for it to stop, which is a break for us to get a transfer window. And yeah, it was painful. That's kind of how I saw it, basically.
Is that me then? Yeah. Okay. So you know what? Just to Chucky's point there as well, I'm gonna echo what you were saying there, bro, because it was worries and problems for a long time, and you know when you just don't see, you don't know where the break's gonna come, and I think the first and foremost was the performances where we were basically like a counter-attacking team. That's how we were viewed. We were viewed as a counter-attacking team. And we just basically was just waiting for the opposition to break on us so we could try and I think we used Daniel James a lot at the beginning of the season as well. And obviously Martial's pace. So that kind of says a lot when we brought someone from the Championship in to start in Manchester United's, starting 11, which, for me, I was always saying, look, quality-wise, it looks like, for me, he's someone that's got to be used off the bench, but we didn't have anyone. Mason Greenwood hadn't surfaced fully yet then, do you know what I mean? So it was a case of we're using what we got and just using our pace. And I think, as Kieran mentioned as well, we was just relying on Rashford and Martial's brilliance from time to time. And listen, I know people will rate what Fred has done this season and McTominay's done, but you could see these guys, they didn't have the quality to be Manchester United's, starting central midfield, along with Matic as well. There was just no creativity there. We had Andreas Pereira playing as well. So man, you got when you're looking at people like that, you're like, we're in trouble, man. You got people like Andreas starting, and you're like, yeah, we're in big trouble, man. We've got a long way to go. So, and yeah, realistically, we even looked defensive. Again, to Chucky's point, we looked defensively solid and sound then, and so that was then. Obviously, we're going to get onto a bit later, but it was just a strange time. Man United counter-attacking side, couldn't keep the ball. Getting outplayed by your Burnleys, your Bournemouth, all them kind of team there. So yeah, it was a very, very strange time. And yeah, I suppose the rest is history, but we'll get onto that in a bit.
Cool. Okay. And Tom, before I get to KSI, what are your thoughts?
Well, I echo what everybody said. I think at the start of the season, the 4-0 against Chelsea wasn't really a fair reflection of the game. Because Chelsea easily could have scored 2 or 3. They hit the post twice. So I don't really think it was a fair reflection of the game. And there's obviously games. There's games where we went in against teams like West Ham, and we were the underdogs against West Ham. Like who the hell are West Ham? This is Man United, the biggest football club in the world, and we're the underdog against West Ham. Yeah. Doesn't surprise me because we've gone there and lost I don't know how many years on the trot now. Doesn't surprise me. But no, I think the main game that killed a lot of fans, well, it did me anyway, wasn't necessarily the Burnley game. I think it was more the Liverpool game, the 2-0 at Anfield, because, mate, there was chances in that game where if you have better quality players, you punish them. Andreas had a tap in at the back post. He couldn't put a ball in, just 2 yards away. Whereas you put that in, that's where Fernandes plays now. Fernandes wouldn't miss from 2 yards, let's be fair. He wouldn't miss from 2 yards. Martial, again, where he tricked Gomez and then he fired it straight into the stand. Just that a bit more composure, a bit less pressure on, say, him. Because you got to think, we went in that game, we didn't even have Rashford or anybody. We played such as Greenwood and everybody in that game. And we had such as Daniel James on the bench. So we had 2 young players, one that we've just brought from the Championship, playing again in a derby game against Liverpool. But I think the main thing was 30 points behind them, and Liverpool is where we want to get to. Like everybody said, we want to get back to the top of the tree. And to do that, you've got to get over Liverpool and City at the moment, because they're not going to go away for a couple of years. They're not going to go away, and it's trying to build back up to there. But I think we were just in the gutter really. But let's be fair. I think a lot of people were saying Ollie, he's not done anything really in terms of world management. Yeah, he's managed Mulder and won Norwegian titles, but also he got sacked with Cardiff, and he's Manchester United manager, the biggest football club in the world. I think a lot of people didn't agree with the appointment. I thought it was the right appointment, but I just think that there was so much. It wasn't really the quality of players, I don't think, because with Martial there was a player there, Pogba there's a player there, but they have been injured, and we've had to play worse players such as Pereira, such as Lingard, and all the rest of the crap. I don't really need to name names because we already know who they are. But I just think now that we've brought in players, say if Matic is injured for a game or Pogba's injured for a game, stick Fred in there or McTominay, they can do a job. Even if it's for one game, they can do a job. But obviously there needs to be more than that. But I think he weathered the storm really, Ollie. Let's be fair, he weathered the storm, and I think. When we went into that January transfer window, I said it before, where if he didn't get any plays in that window, for the rest of the season, he was a dead man walking. He might as well have resigned, because I think he probably would have been sacked. Because we were nowhere near the top four. And it's only because of lapses that we've probably got there. If Leicester didn't bottle it, we wouldn't have got third. So, but obviously, I just think that we were in the gutter, but obviously we've revitalised that when we brought in Bruno, obviously.
Fair enough. Thank you. Thanks for the summary, Tom. Case obviously last before we sort of go into and unpick this a bit, especially. Case what are your thoughts on the what I would call the pre-Bruno Fernandes era at Manchester United this season? Are you there? Can you hear me? Ooh, you there? Go on. Oh, no, can't hear him. Okay, he's gone. Okay, fine. We'll come back to him in a second anyway. That's fine. The suspense.
The tension.
Let's move on then anyway. Okay, so essentially, before we get into after, Bruno Fernandes, essentially. So we talked about the pre-Bruno Fernandes era. I think everyone here kind of agrees. I think I agree with pretty much what everyone said. I think Chucky really kind of just brought it home to everybody. Like, the fact is, we were just really inconsistent. There were games that we obviously won. We beat Chelsea. We battered them, and we beat. I still am perplexed how Manchester United were able to beat City and Spurs with a front three, including Lingard and Daniel James. I don't understand how that was possible. I really don't. But it was. If you look at the team sheet, Daniel James and Lingard were playing against City and against Spurs. So I don't understand. So that's probably why Pep will never win a Champions League with Manchester City.
Oh, G went there, bro. Listen, he's already started.
Let's leave it.
The wrong podcast.
Didn't take no time, did it, G? You know what I mean? Went there straight away.
They say they're not going to be a big club. Let's be real. Be a big club. Any City player that's watching, that's when you need to be a big club. But there's no mistake here that the signing of Bruno Fernandes made a massive difference.
100%.
In the January window, we needed that player to play in that sort of central attacking midfield and sort of role, a creative player, someone to provide service to our front three. And Bruno Fernandes obviously came in and made a difference. So just again, going around what we were just discussing, guys, how would you even just summarize the impact that Bruno Fernandes has made to Manchester United this season, this part of the season anyway?
I mean, I would say that it's not only the impact of scoring goals and assisting, because players can do that all over the pitch. But I think for me, it's the way he's made others perform better, and he's actually lifted his other teammates. And I think whilst you can have a sign that can come in and score goals, and obviously he's been deadly from the penalty spot, deadly from other places in the pitch as well, not just penalties, but like he's actually made everyone play better. He's given everyone a lift. You know, the likes of Martial and obviously Pogba coming back in. Matic has been revived since, you know, Bruno Fernandes coming in. So I think a lot of us thought that Matic was a player that shouldn't be playing for Manchester United, was deadwood. Now, since the restart, Matic has been absolutely superb, one of our most consistent performers. And Bruno Fernandes has come in and has just given everyone the boost and everyone confidence. And that was something that we were lacking in the post-Bruno era, if you like. You could see that, you know, obviously, as Chucky, Shane, and Tom and everyone alluded to, we were so inconsistent in that period. And one of the main reasons for that, in my opinion, was the fact that we had no confidence going into games. You know, we could be...
Ooh. Kieran, you there?
Come back!
Come back. You're frozen. There's been a few connection issues. Tom's gone, I think, and Kieran has gone as well.
Oh, wow.
Ooh,
Okay.
Right, okay. Kieran, just come back in and come back out again. If there's a camera issue, then just with audio speaker, it's fine.
Kieran's putting the face as well, Dread. Do you see that face? He was putting,
what a freeze frame. Yeah, he's going to love that. Boy.
Chucky, man, why don't you go on? Just while I wait.
Okay. So from Bruno turning up. All right. It's strange. A few years ago, there was another Portuguese guy. One of my best friends is the Liverpool fan. Shout out Sneaky. 20 times Manchester United. But yeah. I used to tell him, he used to go on about Liverpool back in the day. He said, tell him all the time, I don't want to hear about your BC talk. Stop all that BC talk. He's like, what do you mean, before Christ? I was like, no, close, before Cristiano. So yeah, flip a few years back, there's another Portuguese guy, a new Magnifico out here. And it's like Jesus walking on water a little bit. It's not quite the same as impact as when Cantona turned up, but it's different. What Bruno does and makes a difference for Manchester United is quite simple for me. It's very simple. He is a leader. And skill apart, talent, goals, whatever, effort, he's a leader. He eludes winning mentality. He eludes it all. I don't know if you ever caught any of there was a WhatsApp group that he was part of it. And it was some of the sporting, his previous club. He was talking about them. I couldn't believe what he was saying. He was like, some of these people think they could just turn up to the club and just play for money and just take a check and not play for the badge. As in, they're taking the effing piss, rah, 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 Reds. I was like, rah! Why is I didn't know a Portuguese man talk like that, first of all. But yeah, he was going in. But this is in his private time. He wasn't trying to make a scene and all that, but he loves football and he believes it. He loves working. And also, doesn't matter what club he is, he just eludes leadership. Going back now, I'm one of these ones. I'm not going to get onto Jesse Lingard too much. I'm not going to get onto Pereira too much. Reason why I say that is I don't judge everything off one season. And if I go back and look at Jesse Lingard, without Jesse Lingard, we've still got 2 less trophies in the last 5 years. And that's facts. And I mean, that is facts. I'm not saying you should lord him forever for that. But Jesse Lingard now, no one can tell me Nicky Bott when he was flipping 19 years old is better than Jesse Lingard now. No way in hell. But Nicky Bott had Eric Cantona there. Nicky Bott had Roy Keane there. He had other leaders there to learn from, meaning you can bring the best out of him. The problem is Manchester United starting players like Jesse Lingard and Pereira, and is in a position where Bruno should be a true leader. But from when Bruno turned up, everything clicked. Like I was saying before, he's protein. He's the protein. He's the reason why we all go to the gym. He's protein shake. My man right here. He is protein shake. That's what he is. He's the reason why we go to the gym. And before we were missing, the sandwich was missing a slice in the middle. And that was Bruno. He come in, gelled it all. It was obvious. We were crying out for him. It's not hard to see. It was clearly obvious for all to see. It's not like our players can't score goals. They can score goals. It's not like we can't defend. We might not be the best to defend, but we've got one of the biggest monsters in Aaron Wan-Bissaka there. We got the previous season second best centre-back in Harry Maguire. So, boy, Luke Shaw, he was our player of the season last season. David De Gea, off form, on form, look at it however you want to look at it. But based off the last 5-6 years, there's still no other keeper in the world better. And you can tell me about last season from the World Cup. I don't care about the World Cup. I'm telling you, based off the last 5 years, there's still no other keeper better. So the problem was obviously midfield and creativity. So boy, I could not understand what was going on with Matic. I have no understanding of that, apart from maybe just fear of messing up. and lack of creativity. But for when Bruno turned up, he definitely gelled us together and made us look more like the club was supposed to be. That's what I think, anyway.
Oh, fair enough, Chucky, man. I think that's. I think you're saying what everyone else is feeling, man. Seriously, like it just summarized the whole thing. Shade, buddy, Shade Chief. What are your thoughts, man?
If I was to summarize it in a couple of words, is holds people accountable. You know where you got people where they're just. Maguire's got the captaincy and he's the club captain, all that kind of stuff. But obviously the goal.
People.
Should Maguire, and actually just for a second, open it out.
Yeah.
Should Maguire still have the captaincy going into next season?
I don't think you can change that now. I think obviously with all this stuff going on about him getting arrested, obviously it seems as though it was because his sister got stabbed in the arm.
Apparently, which is nuts.
Which is madness, isn't it? So I think anyone would react the same, innit? So
I wouldn't be coming home, boy.
But there you go. That's it, innit? I don't think anyone can say. And Maguire's not the first time he's been a professional footballer for years now. So he goes away, and it's the first time we've heard of any kind of misdemeanor with regards to him personally. So for me, if you take the armband away from him now, it's kind of like a kick in the teeth. And if he'd just gone out there and done whatever, got into fisticuffs and tarnishing Man United's name, then you can look at it that way. But because he's basically defending his sister, you can't really say nothing in that regard. And then not only that, Bruno, for me, armband or not, he's going to be that guy. He's going to be the leader. When he first come onto the scene and he first played, he's putting at people, right, you go there. Like when Lindelof, and obviously when obviously we can see that second goal against Sevilla, he's then gone after Lindelof and said, what are you doing? Why are you conceding that goal? And he's holding people accountable. I ain't seen that for years. Like we're talking since maybe Kino and Rio and Vidic, them kind of man. But I've not seen that for years. So that's the first time I've seen it. So for me, he doesn't need the armband to do that because he's going to do it anyway.
Agree. Word. I completely agree with you there, bro. He doesn't need the armband. And also, sorry to just jump in there. I don't see any benefit of taking the armband off Harry Maguire. We're going to play differently because we give Bruno an armband. Are we? No, we're not. We're not going to play differently. Is Harry Maguire a great captain? I don't know. He's been a captain for one season. It was his first season. He got given the armband, so give him time. We got bigger problems.
Sorry, Sirky. My only thing with the giving the captain's thing is that I feel that sometimes this season it would have been good for Harry Maguire not to have played for like a Lindelof, for like say a Lindelof for Bailly or something like that, because I've read some ridiculous stat where like I think he's played the most football of any player in the UK,
in the world, Harry Maguire has more minutes than any other professional footballer in any top flight league in the world.
That's insane. And I don't mean, fair enough if he was like world class, but I'm not here to trash him. But like he hasn't, and clearly he needs rest. And so I feel like the thing with giving him the sort of the captaincy is that for some reason Solskjaer feels that like he has to play him all the time. And I feel like if you at least give it to someone else, because Bruno Fernandes, for example, is not going to be dropped under any circumstances right now. Like you're not going to drop Bruno. You're not. You're just not. Whereas there could be an argument that, especially depending on if we sign a defender over the summer, if maybe Bailly, for example, gets his act together, whatever, that for certain games it would be reasonable to drop Harry Maguire. And I feel like because you've given him the captaincy, what you've now said is he has to play all the time. So the only person that can come out is Lindelof, because really from our centre back, Phil Jones is just someone said Phil Jones is like a cockroach. Like he could just survive a nuclear war. Like I just don't get.
Yeah, it's true.
I'll say this before I go back to Kieran. Sir Alex Ferguson deserves major respect for somehow winning a Premier League with Phil Jones as centre back. Whatever you say about Pep and all of his achievements with Messi at Barcelona, like he won it, something like that. Winning a Premier League with Phil Jones as a centre back is much more what Pep achieved at Barcelona. That's my 2 cents. Kieran, before you sort of went out on us, it was connection sort of thing, but it's Chief Buddy. You were talking about Bruno. What's your thoughts on him?
Oh no, well yeah, that's apologies for that. My internet just completely went down at the great time, innit? Great timing. But yeah, I do apologise, lads. But yeah, all I was just going to say was basically that for me, I think Bruno Fernandes, just in terms of the impact, obviously, I probably agree with a lot of what you guys said. But yeah, I was just going to make the point that not only has Bruno Fernandes come in, brought, great game in terms of stats, but he's actually lifted the level of everyone else around him. And that's why I think he was such a big signing for us, because not only did he perform well, but he made players that were having a really bad time of it suddenly come back into form. And, that he helped those sort of players. And football's a team game in the end of the day. So, yeah, that's all I was going to say is he just not only as a signing did he come in and do his job, but he lifted everyone else to make them do their jobs better. So that's why I think he's such a valued signing. But yeah, that's all I was going to say, really.
For sure.
Tom, man, your thoughts?
Yeah, I just think the exact same as what everybody's saying. Fernandes, and I think that the key to Bruno Fernandes was because he's been a captain himself. That's the main reason why. But I just think that obviously with everything that's happened with Harry Maguire, I'll just address it quickly. Personally, he's been selected as the captain, for a few months now. Why change it now? What's changed? Well, he's got arrested, but he's not pleaded guilty. I'm not being funny. If that happened with probably anybody's family, with anybody's sister, whether it's anybody from your sister to probably your friend, you'd do anything to protect them because obviously the personal relationship between you, But I just think that, I think Bruno would obviously be in the conversation, but for me, I would probably put someone like Pogba in there because of the amount of years he's been there. Bruno's only been there, not even probably 6 months. And you're already on about giving him the captaincy. And I know we gave it Harry Maguire, but at the time, he was the only player that was playing who was match fit because Pogba and everybody was injured. He was the only player that was playing that was match fit. And he was pretty much the only leader since Ashley Young left. So it was a given that you had to give him it. Who else were you going to make Lingard the captain? Jesus Christ, he couldn't even tell anybody anything, let alone tell himself it. What's he going to do? Say, oh, I'm playing crap. I need to go off the field here. I need to sort my son out, But, like I say, Bruno is, a player who comes in to any football club and has the right attitude, the right mentality, can have a transformative effect on any team. If he went in probably any team, say if he went into Chuffing Bournemouth's team, it'd probably change everything there because he's coming in with the right attitude. And I think that's not what we've had at the football club for a long time, is attitude. Players like Angel Di Maria, wrong attitude. Schweinsteiger, wrong attitude. Fernandes, Maguire, all the signings. They've improved the team, not just on the field, but personality as well. That's a major point in the team, personality. Like we look at Sir Alex Ferguson's team. There was a character in every player. Cantona, there was a major character there. Roy Keane, major character. These major players, and obviously what Chucky said about with players who've played with better players and stuff, such as, players like Scholes and everything have gone on to be these world stars and everything. But they've played with players like Cantona. They've learnt from the best. And I think, young players such as Greenwood coming through, Gunnar, can nurture what they're seeing in front of them because they're looking up to these people like Fernandes, Pogba, Rashford, Martial as role models. And they assume to be like Greenwood, he's a future number 9 at Manchester United for sure. And it's a case of, you buy, say, a player like jadon Sancho, right attitude improves your team straight away. So I think, I think personally we give huge respect to Ollie because if Ollie wasn't the manager, he wouldn't even be in the team. And if Bruno Fernandes isn't in the team, let's be fair, we probably wouldn't have finished top 4. Maybe even got past, last in the Europa League, maybe, because it got that bad. But, this is just, it's a decision that the board took. It was a gamble because of the fee that we paid for him, but it's paid off. And sometimes you take gambles in football, they pay off. So, huge respect to Ollie for bringing him to the club. And I think, Well, I might give Ed Woodward the slight satisfaction because obviously he's had to fork out the money, but in the grand scheme of things, he's just bought him £100 million from qualifying for the Champions League. So, he's made a bit of profit back off of the fee that he's had to fork out. But, still, I just think an amazing signing. And definitely, probably for me, I think it's the best signing since Sir Alex Ferguson left. To be honest, I can't think of a better one for me.
To be honest, so far I can't even really, and that's including poor Pogba right now. Thanks, Tom. I'm going to see if I can get KSI on again. KSI, man, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Cool. Yeah, we can get back to thoughts on obviously Bruno Fernandes and the impact he's made at Manchester United so far.
Yeah, let's talk about Maguire's thing. Lots of people on about it. As some people know, I'm a Maguire hater. I think he's an 80 million fraud.
Right.
I don't rate him as a centre-back. At the start of the season, I thought he was I thought he was top 5 centre-backs, but I clearly didn't watch him, and he's been a fraud ever since he joined. No captain, no leadership. Punching, a police officer, whatever. That's the most fight I've ever seen him in, really. Whatever. The 80 million fraud, he should get stripped of the captaincy.
Okay.
And he should be, released from the team anyway. I don't even
released from the you get rid of him. You get rid of him.
Yeah.
Man's trying to sack him from his contract.
He wants to cancel Maguire from the Jesus.
Okay. Well, let's.
He's made too many mistakes, and he should be released. So that's my say on that fridge head.
Okay, so Fernandes, yeah, go on. Yeah.
All right. So of course, I think lots of people are disrespecting my man Marcus Rashford. People should put respect on his name because lots of people saying Fernandes carried Manchester United, but Rashford carried Manchester United. And, lots of people should put respect on the GOAT's name. But...
Man's a GOAT,
GOAT is a strong word to use to Marcus. I would say very, very strong KSI, man. You sure that's not... Is that...
No strong. Wait, my thing on Rash, I think he is better than Kylian Mbappe. I think his name. He is unbelievable. And he carried us. No laugh.
Well, you're getting support from Average Joe in the comments. Average Joe says, talk you. So I'm allowing you to talk, so even though I think maybe quite a few people might disagree with you on here. But go on, wrap up your point. But
no, me and Joe. Anyway,
go on.
As I was saying, Rashford, he carried us well. Fernandes carried us. But people, like Ollie Solskjaer and his tactics.
A lot of work back in.
He actually did a very good job tactically, and people are disrespecting him because he's, because of the start of the season.
We'll talk about Ole Gunnar Solskjaer later. So, but just round off your point on Bruno.
Fernandes, I don't know what's wrong with Fernandes because recently he's been, not that good. But I don't know what it is because maybe it's lockdown, fatigue, whatever. But I think Bruno Fernandes, let's be honest, Bruno Fernandes, if you put Bruno Fernandes in any team, he'll probably make them top 10 easy. Like if you put Bruno Fernandes in Arsenal's team, I bet Arsenal would probably still be. I think Arsenal will fight for mid-table, honestly.
Wait, what? Wait, let me clarify that. Wait, so you're saying that Bruno Fernandes was in the Arsenal team, the Arsenal would be fighting mid-table. You don't think Bruno Fernandes would beat Arsenal?
Sorry, Gigi, sorry, my bad.
Okay.
I didn't mean to mention mid-table clubs. I'm sorry. So if you put them in Watford's team, I bet you they'll probably be higher than Arsenal. And if you put them in, Bournemouth's team, they'll probably be higher than Arsenal as well.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
He's a very good player. He is our central attacking midfielder. People should put respect on his name. Lots of people calling him Fernandez, even though he creates the penalty. Nobody realizes that Fernandez and Rashford, all these people create the penalties, and they're calling us Penchester FC. We create it.
To be honest,
you create the penalty.
Yeah. Have we not bottled it against Sevilla? I would have been like, if we'd won the final on a penalty, I would have just been trolling everybody. I'd have been like, I don't care. I don't care. Like, I don't care when Penchester if it means that we actually win games and get trophies. You know,
the more people say that, the more penalties I've won. Do you know what I mean?
Exactly.
And especially with our side chick, VAR. Come next season. She's here for us, baby. She's here for us.
So Alex Ferguson Keto, round off, man.
Of course, I didn't get my say on the other thing before Ollie.
So
the pre. Add a little bit.
Okay, yeah. Just a minute, because we've got a few stuff to run through. Sorry, go on.
Yeah, mate. Of course, before Fernandez came in, it was depressing times. I felt sorry for you making 50, 40-minute videos ranting. I feel for you. Like all of the United fans, I feel for them. And I was getting trolled by so many Arsenal fans who are my mates. They were calling us Manchester FC. It was a rough time. I prayed Manchester United would get top 4. Every night before I went to sleep, I prayed.
Not that bad.
Real talk.
I prayed to everybody we get top 4. I had my fingers crossed the whole season we'd get top 4, and the wish came true. I like to thank God, and I like to thank everybody. But before Fernandez came in, let's be honest, our team was trash. And lots of people on about what was the trashness. Our whole team was trash except from Rashford and Martial and Greenwood. Daniel James, he was absolute god awful. August, September, Daniel James, that was his month. Them 2 months. And then ever since then, he was on a downward spiral. No wonder Rashford got injured, because he had to carry everybody on his back.
I mean, there is an argument that he was overplayed, because he obviously did get a stress fracture, which is an evidence of over exertment. So, and Ollie did play him all the time. He did overplay him.
I think Rashford didn't get that injury. He scored more goals than Robert Lewandowski.
Okay, I'm not gonna. Okay. I don't know what to say to that comment. Okay. Round off, Keita. Please move on. Go on, quickly. Go on.
Ole Gunnar Solskjaer was depressing times. We beat Manchester City. We beat Tottenham. We were a consistent FC. We know what the hell am I saying? We were not consistent FC. We lost to flipping Watford. Who else did we lose?
Burnley, West Ham, Crystal Palace.
Bournemouth, West Ham. But who loses to these teams? We're not Arsenal FC. We're Manchester United FC. We're not that club from North London that loses to flipping
Brighton,
Crystal Palace, and all these teams. We're a team that are Champions League winners. We're the best team in the world, and let's see next season. And I'm very excited we're in the Champions League, because I expect some hammerings in the Champions League to the top clubs. But G, go on, continue your show.
Cool. Yeah, no worries. Okay, sign off.
Respect, Case.
Oh, respect.
Let's see what Rashford does next season.
Respect, Keita, Rani. I might disagree with a fair amount of what you say sometimes, but it's always entertaining, and it's always good to hear your opinion.
He's passionate, isn't he? He's passionate.
He is passionate. We need. And speaking of passion, let's get on to Mason Greenwood, because I think that we can kind of all
Wonder
agree.
boy.
Sorry? Yeah.
Wonder boy.
This kid, I think we can argue is truly something special, and has really kind of come through during, I think it's got to been almost, could you say, the brighting spark, during the season. I don't think people really expected Mason to really take off as he did, and I just want to get people just brief thoughts on. Oh, actually, sorry. Before I go in, Average Joe has a few questions. Actually, Average Joe. We'll get to that. So we'll get to the one at the end. So it's a bit long. Would you guys want to see Titi and Dembele from Barcelona as United? We are linked to them. Thoughts, anybody?
No.
It's better than nothing, I guess. I guess if we get nothing in, but
I need more context.
Yeah, Dembele's way too injury prone, man. That's the only thing.
Would you not take Dembele if we got him on loan as like a stopgap for Sancho?
There's some context. You're giving context there.
On loan isn't an issue, but to fork out a transfer fee for a man that's gonna get injured throughout the majority of his career, he's just one of those bods, man. Unfortunately, he's always gonna get injured.
Which was the cover just says, he says, can we be real? Though Maguire has made a lot of mistakes this season.
Okay, can I jump in here, right? Because when my man was talking, right, there's something that people keep jumping. People keep jumping onto this Maguire thing, right? Let me point out to you, right? Okay, Harry Maguire played more minutes than anyone else in professional football. Yeah, facts. Okay, Harry Maguire made less than 7 mistakes leading to goals this season. Outside of Van Dijk, Harry Maguire is in line with every other centre-back in the world. So if he's dead, everyone's dead. That's facts. Harry Maguire is lacking pace. That's not his fault. And as far as captaincy, maybe Ollie wants him as captain. Maybe it's just that simple. And also, Ole's a foreign manager in the English league. Check all countries, check all teams. It's almost a rule of thumb. The player from that country is the captain for that club. That's just how it is. It's tradition. It's how it works. It helps for communication. It helps for other things. And also, look at it. Manchester United before Harry Maguire defensively. Manchester United after Harry Maguire defensively. One thing I can definitely say, we're better organized. What, has Ollie become a defensive manager overnight? I don't think that's the case. Man United are playing counter-attacking football, but not in the shout of all day. We're playing counter-attacking football through necessity and no other option. Harry Maguire organized that and being peppered, being hammered, and being obviously that's how you play counter-attacking football, bringing on pressure. People need to get off his back. He's not that bad at all. In fact, if you look at it in the grand scheme of things, if Harry Maguire did not play for Manchester United, we'll say he's a good defender. Anyway, that's all I got to say about Harry Maguire. I'm not saying he's the best. Far from it. I'm not saying he's exempt from mistakes. I'm not saying he's the quickest. He's far from the quickest.
Every defender makes mistakes.
But as far as experience, what do we want to get Harry Maguire from? The only part of his game that we wanted before he came that we're not getting is the amount of goals. Aside of that, Harry Maguire does exactly what we got him for. That's all I got to say on Harry Maguire. We need to leave him alone.
Fair enough. I mean, what I would say before we go back to Mason Greenwood and Harry was that I actually feel, and for some reason, I've gotten a lot of banter from Chelsea fans. They've been cussing about Harry Maguire, especially because I think they're linked with Ben Chilwell, who I think is overrated. It's like, first of all, Chelsea, your defensive record has actually been worse, much worse.
We got the best defensive record in Europe. Sorry, keep going.
Well,
I forgot about that.
I don't understand it. Like, so they're bantering us and like, oh, Harry Maguire's like, you've conceded like more. I think I was sure something like Chelsea conceded like 58 or something goals in the Premier League.
Yeah,
and that's worse than like Burnley and Brighton. They were 12, and you spent 75 million on Kepa, whose only significant moment in your club was telling Sarri to get lost because he wouldn't go. That is his relevance. He's not done anything else, So you're not in any position to banter us United fans on wasting money. You spend 75 million on like exercise instructor or something, telling people to go here and there. Like what's going on? So yeah. Anyway, back to Mason Greenwood, guys.
Let's go.
Greenwood's level. Let's go back to Kieran. What do you think is Greenwood's ceiling at Manchester United?
I think he can become. Depends how long he wants to stay, but I think if he stays for his whole career and he continues upward trajectory, I think we're looking at someone who could surpass Wayne Rooney's record. I think he's got that level of finishing and that level of talent that I can see it. I mean, at 18 years of age, what he's doing is ridiculous, and it's often forgotten that he's 18 years old. You know, this guy, when he first came into the United team, was just done GCSEs. You know, and maybe it's lucky he was doing GCSEs then and not now, but that's for a different topical government debate show. But obviously we're talking about United now. But obviously Mason Greenwood, yeah, what he's done was he scored nearly like 20 goals since he's come into the team at 18 years old. I would say probably our best finisher. I would say our best finisher at the club as it stands right now. I think Martial maybe a second, but I think the fact that Mason Greenwood not only is scoring goals which are just goals that are great goals, but are important goals. You have to remember the goals he scored against Sheffield, the goals he scored against Everton to get the points. Obviously, goals he scored against Brighton and these sort of teams, West Ham as well, to get us a point, which turned out to be an absolutely vital point. So not only is he scoring goals, but he's scoring important goals in games where we're looking for players to step up, and that's something which you can't buy. You cannot buy in a player. One thing I do think we need to do, and I think you guys would probably agree, is not put too much pressure on Mason Greenwood, because it's very easy to get very carried away and say, look at what he's done this season. He's going to be the next star boy. He's going to be future Ballon d'Or winner type thing. Let him enjoy his football. We just need to let him come into the team and do what he does best, and that is put the ball in the back of the net. And even if he doesn't have a great performance, yes, obviously no player for Manchester United can be exempt from criticism. But we have to factor in he's only 18 years old, and he's doing incredible things regardless. So in terms of his ceiling, I think he could become our top goal scorer in history if he was to stay at the club. Because I feel like if Greenwood's doing well, Greenwood's scoring goals, and you've got quality players in behind him, then I feel like we will be successful, or at least it'll be challenging to be successful. Actually, no, I'm going to be more confident. We're going to be successful if that's the case. So
yes,
for me,
yes,
I think...
Yes, Kieran, love that.
Yeah, exactly. You've got to be confident. And with Greenwood doing that, if he continues to do what he's doing right now, because we haven't seen a full season from him, let's be frank, we haven't actually seen a full season of Mason Greenwood. So, yeah, for me, his ceiling could be our top goal scorer of all time. But I hope he gets there. But as I said, I'm not putting too much pressure on him. Hopefully, he just continues to do what he does in the future.
Cool. Well
Lyrics,
said.
Kieran. Lyrics.
Well said.
Thank you, Shane. Appreciate
it. United man, Shane Greenwood levels. Where can this guy go?
You know what? I just to touch upon what Kieran just said there, just is a valid point that we don't overplay him, because I think as you explained to me about Rashford's injury and his stress fracture, that's just from overplaying. Just to go off Kieran's point, let's make sure that we're not playing too much. But that's where the squad comes in, and if we ain't got the quality in depth, then that's not going to happen. But I think when I used to have MUT TV and used to see some of the youth games, and he'd scored. I think he played 44 games, scored 40 goals, and I was just like, can this transfer in or translate into the first team? And one person that he reminds me of in terms of the feeling that you get when there's an opportunity of scoring a goal. There's one person throughout all my Man United days that I've been alive, the one person I expected to score when he got in the penalty area was Ruud van Nistelrooy. And then probably since then, maybe Van Persie. Mason Greenwood is probably the next one up. Whereas Rashford, sometimes you're not sure. Martial, again, a bit more consistent in terms of finishing. But Greenwood, I'm expecting him to score. I feel like he's going to score. And like I said, I've not really had that feeling properly since Ruud van Nistelrooy, who for me was probably the most clinical United striker. So for me, I feel like Greenwood. People are saying about Rashford and Mbappe being on par. For me, one thing I always say, and it's a stat, so it's a fact. Greenwood is a better finisher and has a higher conversion rate at 18 than Thierry Henry did at the same age. So that's something to bear in mind. So and look at the career Henry had. For me, you're talking about, and it's not too soon, we're talking about Ballon d'Or winners and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, for me, there is no limit for him, and it's not even a sky. The kid can do whatever he wants to do. Simple as that.
No, fair play, Chief. Fair play. Chucky man, Greenwood, levels. Where can this guy go?
Mason Greenwood, all right. Mason Greenwood is going to be top 10 English strikers ever. Facts. That's just it. First of all, injuries aside.
Yeah, man.
I'm not even trying to be funny. No sensationalization, none of that business. All right, with Greenwood now. Okay, I used to have MUTV as well, and I used to watch Mason Greenwood, see him banging lots of goals. But then I did also watch Pogba, Ravel Morrison, Jesse Lingard, and one or two other people, and that team there was beyond techie. You might not realize, some people might not realize who Ravel Morrison is.
Ravel Morrison, preach.
Seriously, bro,
preach, man,
it was disturbing to the point where I enjoyed watching the Rezzies as much as I enjoyed watching the first team, and that's no joke. And that FA Cup winning team there, the Youth FA Cup winning team, was beyond belief. But Mason Greenwood now, he's got stats that elude most of those. And when I watched Mason Greenwood, I decided to go watch everything he ever did. I watched every goal he had ever scored, and I was miffed. And the reason why I was miffed is the first time in my life where I genuinely did not know what foot the guy was. You know, you're still watching, and you think, all right, he looks comfortable there. He looks comfortable. He keeps going left. I think he's a left. And then he takes a free kick from 30 yards with his right foot. So what the hell just happened? And then he goes and takes a penalty. And you see a penalty left foot, they see a penalty right foot. One after the other. He's just taking the piss. And I thought to myself, then he's playing up against children now. That's what I thought. So let me just wait to see what happens. Then I listened to what people said about Mason Greenwood years ago. I think it was Alex Ferguson. He said, I think we've got one here. I heard him say that, but then I also heard Alex Ferguson say that Phil Jones could be one of the best centre-backs we've ever had. You know what I mean? So, I mean, I listened to my dad, Fergie, but at the same time, he's a dad. You know what I mean? Dad drinks sometimes, he likes to get whiskey. But yeah, so yeah, he was going on about Greenwood. But then, what you were saying, my man, you were saying about Ruud van Nistelrooy and Robin van Persie. But while you're speaking, I thought you were going to say someone else. What Greenwood reminds me of, as far as finishing is concerned, is Ollie. He reminds me of Ollie, as far as finishing is concerned. And what I mean by that is, with people like Ruud van Nistelrooy, he kept it very simple. He scored a lot of, as in 6-yard goals, 6-yard box goals right in there, and lots of headers as well with Ruud van Nistelrooy. You know what I mean? He was a threat in the air from corners as well. But with Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, it's just putting that ball into that bottom corner. It was just second nature to him. Well, he taught himself a lot. So Greenwood reminds me of that. And with that little backlift he's got, and how much power he can generate with both feet, his ceiling is out of here. I mean, he's going to be a contender for, I reckon, the highest prizes, but definitely going to be top 10 British strikers, English British strikers ever, without a shadow of a doubt. So yeah, great. Mason Greenwood he's a light at the end of the tunnel, definitely, man. He's unbelievable, to be honest. The part of his game which surprised me most, I was scrutinizing him earlier on, was his decision making. And at the age of 17, he's 18 now. At the age of 17, he had better decision making than Daniel James at 22 years old, which is just mental. And also, he knows when to pass, he knows when not to pass as well. And also, what I'm seeing, because I used to play up front myself, I'm not saying I'm a professional footballer, I only play semi-pro, but I used to play up front myself. But the passes he's making is forcing players to give the ball back. He's intelligent, and he knows the ball's coming back to him. So yeah, he's absolutely amazing. His ceiling is out of here, absolutely out here, as long as he stays injury-free. And they're not going to overplay him the same way they did with Rashford, because we learned from Rashford, and also Greenwood's different. But yeah, that's why I think about Greenwood.
No, thanks, Chucky, man. Thank you.
Natural, isn't it? Natural. He's natural. I don't think you can teach that. That's the thing. It's
special.
It is. It's just it just seems easy. It just seems like it's just second nature. That to me is a big point. It's just easy for the kid. And you know what? I've got to give it a shout out to the best Man United player that never was, Ravel Morrison, man. Like he started touching him, man. I'm like, I got to give props to him, man. Just like, just shout out.
He was dirty. It was not. No, seriously, it was not. It was not.
It was, man. It was. So for real, just like to shout that out as well. Sorry, go on, G.
No. Noise. We've got about I've just literally gone for an hour. So we've got about 20 minutes to go with just a few more topics to go. So Tom,
sorry.
I've got I think two or just three things left to discuss. So we'll if we can speed on, that would be great. So basically, initially, just let me know what your thoughts are on this. Just in the next topic, top 5 performers top 5 performers this season. So just going around, just basically saying who will be your top 5 performers, who have been your top 5 performers for Manchester United this season, and then we'll go around again. Who do you feel has underperformed 5, and then we'll talk about Ollie. So I'll start with Tom here. Tom, who would it be your, like, in ascending order? Who would be your top 5 performers to Manchester United this season?
Starting from number 1 or number 5?
Number 5, yeah.
Number 5, okay. Number 5, I'll go with. Who should I go with? I'll go with Luke Shaw. I think Luke Shaw is.
Okay.
To say that he's, at the start of the season he was out for a month with an injury. Then for the time when he's been out, obviously towards the back end of the season, when we've played against these teams such as West Ham and everything, you're putting a young lad there, Brandon Williams. I think he's 19 years old. And he's not really. It's his first professional season. And the whole target in that, it's as simple as that. You're going to target the weakest link, and with him being so young and inexperienced, that's what's going to happen. It's obviously, I think, it echoes the Sevilla game where Brandon Williams didn't follow the run of Suso, and then they ended up getting a tapping at the back post. But that's just because of lack of experience. But obviously, you learn from your mistakes when you're young, and you got to think, yeah, he is young, and he's still going to develop, just like Mason Greenwood's going to develop. So I think Luke Shaw, for me, when he's been in the team, not really put a foot wrong for me. And I think, possibly I would put him in for probably one of the players of the season for us, really, if we're being honest. Definitely for one of the defenders of the season for me. Number 4, I'll put in Mason Greenwood at number 4. I don't really want to put them in the order that I am because of it, but I just think there's been bigger, better performance. Obviously, Mason Greenwood, toward the start of the season, didn't really play until the Astana game. Where he absolutely shone it and won us the game. But, just the development in this young lad. And, I think it is special because it's kids like him who bring you back down to earth. You see all these players such as Pogba, De Bruyne and stuff who post all this over social media, the flash cars, the nice houses and everything. But it's players such as Greenwood, young, just fresh off of the streets, just kicking a ball against the wall with his mates. On a weekend or whatever, who kind of brings you back down to earth about what the game's about, and how this is special in a player, just picked up off of a young football field, by scouts and everything. For me, I'll be honest, I think he's been the best 18-year-old this season in the world. For me, not just the stats, but the performances, and like Kieran's reiterated earlier about the importance in specific moments and specific games where he's bust us out of jail. Number 3, I'll go Anthony Martial at number 3.
Okay.
I think Martial with obviously it's 50-50 between Martial and Rashford really, because obviously they've had that, should we say, bit of a competition with the goal scoring and whatnot. But that's what you love to see. You like to see that. And it thrives players on, and obviously with partnerships that they've built and stuff. I think it's incredible. I think obviously Fernandes has had a major part in the improvement of Martial by giving him that service, and Martial's just slotted away the ball just like any other player has, such as Greenwood and Rashford. So I'll put him in number 3. Now, heads or tails? I don't know. I'll say the 2 players, Aaron Wan-Bissaka and Bruno Fernandes. But I don't know which order to put them in. I'll put Fernandes in at second, and I'll put Aaron Wan-Bissaka at first. The only reason why I'll do that is because Aaron Wan-Bissaka's been here for the full season. That's the only reason why I'm going to just say that, because obviously for maybe the first half of the season, if we signed Fernandes, it might have been pants, who knows. But, you can't read back into the past because he wasn't here. But obviously, reading to the future, I think, for me, Fernandes, he's been the shining light of the second half of the season for sure. He's been the tick on the field, and if there's one player that, has improved the whole spirit inside the team, and I think inside the fan base and the club, it's been him. And, he's shown that, like I said, about the character and coming in with the right attitude, it can have a transformative effect on your team, and that's where I'd probably put him there. Aaron Wan-Bissaka. Now, the reason why I put him at number 1 is because he's been here for the whole season. We've said such players such as, well, let's say it like this: Mane and Sterling are probably some of the top wingers in Europe, if we're being honest here. I think, the way he deals with players in one-on-one situations, it's terrifying if you're an attacker, because you can't get past him. When you're trying to take him on, you can't take him on because you can try and go past him, but he'll just boot the ball out of play anyway. So it's and I just think for 50 million, I think we've got a bargain. If I'm being honest, I've said it, I think he's the best one-on-one, the best defender in one-on-one situations for me, because hardly anybody can get past him. Sterling, quick as lightning, struggles to even get anywhere beyond him. And I think, obviously, with how he's taken over from somebody such as Ashley Young. Look at Ashley Young and look at Aaron Wan-Bissaka. There you go. That's the comparison. Sterling was having a field day up against people like Ashley Young and Delau. Now he's having an absolute nightmare, and he can't even get past them. For me, probably, if we're not classifying Fernandez as being here for the full season, for me, I think he's been the signing of the lot, really, alongside maybe Maguire as a competitor. But that's just me. Aaron Wan-Bissaka, number 1.
Before I get to Chucky, Average Joe just wanted me to just read out some of his comments just in response to Chucky about Maguire. Average Joe says the captain needs to be a leader. Maguire's the leader. You should have someone that's been in the club for 1 season as your captain. And then so it says, think of the captains that we had. Maguire really can do better, and that you can't compare Maguire to Koulibaly, Ramos. Well, of course you can't.
My God.
Look at the captain's possession of football. Ramos, then he isn't a captain.
Wait. I think the statement is we shouldn't compare Maguire and Koulibaly or any of them to what's his name, Van Dijk. Van Dijk is the exception, not the rule. Putting it out there. And furthermore, you get a lot of things with Ramos, and what you also get with Ramos is bookings. And he doesn't play for the entire season. You get a lot of passion with Ramos, but you don't want your centre-backs to be emotional. I'm sorry, you don't. That's just my opinion. I'm not saying, you know what? Ask my man to just go pull up the stats to back up that he's bad. That's what I want. And secondly, if he's not captain, who are you giving it to? Who are you giving it to? No, I'm asking everybody. Who are you giving it to?
Yeah, Bruno. Bruno's the only one you can kind of talk about. But we've already addressed that already.
Yeah, exactly.
But that argument, you can't give it to him because he's just been there for a year. So you're going to give it to somebody who's been there for less time. Come on. Pogba, somebody who plays half a season because he's injured all the time. My favourite player, by the way. I'm just saying, but who? It's not easy. The obvious answer is David De Gea, really, but we're not going to give it to him. That's the obvious answer. Who are you going to give it to?
There's a reason that De Gea never got it, though, isn't it? Because
exactly.
Ultimately, he's not the leader that needs to be there. Do you know what I mean?
By the way.
Yeah, I think, you know what, just to shed some light on the Maguire situation, like in terms of the stats, goals conceded last season when he wasn't there versus this season, the season just finished, we're what was it 43% better off with goals conceded from previous season where Maguire wasn't here versus when Maguire was here. The difference is obviously he's come in and Wan-Bissaka's come in. And you can't really. The stats are there. The stats are the facts.
That's why I said go find me the stats to disprove it, man. At the end of the day, we're talking about Van Dijk number 1, and Maguire, who's apparently in the worst defense, in the worst team, is number 1 in Europe. What the hell are we talking about? Let's leave him alone, man.
Let's quickly move on. Sorry, because we're going to wrap up in 10-15 minutes. Elliot United, although Elliot is also in the Harry Maguire is not a captain apparently. But let's put that to one side.
It's fine. It's fast. It's relevant anyway. Let me give you the players real quick, right? Not in any particular order. I can't rank it. I can tell you who my player of the season.
Any order, just say what.
Any order. All right. It's Rashford, Greenwood, Martial, Bruno, Aaron Wan-Bissaka. Aaron Wan-Bissaka because he played the whole season. Bruno because of what he's done for the team. Martial over Rashford. In fact, I'll give you an order backwards. Martial over Rashford because at the end of the day, top scorer, top assist. Rashford is right up there. He did all that. He came back from injury, still contributed, and he's a Dr. Rashford. Okay, so there we go. My man there, and Greenwood, the best teenager for Manchester United since the last best teenager for Manchester United. So yeah, there we go. Those are my players.
Shane, man, your top 5?
In order: Rashford, Martial, Bruno, Greenwood, and Wan-Bissaka. We've already gone through all the reasons, so don't need to touch on that as well. But that's my top 5.
Beautiful.
Everyone seems to be saying the same team. Frankly, just fair enough.
No. Tom said Luke Shaw.
Yeah,
Luke Shaw. He did. Yes, that's true. Kieran, your top 5, man.
Yeah, I'll be continuing the same trend with Chucky and Shane, the same 5 players. I put them in a different order. I've gone with Rashford 5, Martial 4, Wan-Bissaka 3, Greenwood 2, and Bruno Fernandes 1. For me, as Shane said, we've gone through the reasons. I put Bruno number 1 just because I have never seen. Well, it's very rare you see a player of that sort of impact. And realistically, would we be in 3rd place without Bruno Fernandes? I don't think so.
Nah.
Of course.
Good point.
Before I come to your time, I'll probably give my top 5, and I think there's one player that I feel that I think should get a bit of respect, because I genuinely think that if he didn't play, he would have struggled. So
Fred, you're gonna say Fred, ain't ya?
So no, I'm not actually.
Matic.
Bye.
Matic.
Bye.
Matic. You gotta say.
Yeah, it's got to go.
Bye hasn't played enough. No, it's going to be Matic. So I'm going to say Bruno Fernandes for me, and Anthony Martial, and Wan-Bissaka, Nemanja Matic, and I'll probably put even Mason Greenwood. I think that would be my top 5 of the season. But I don't think Nemanja Matic gets a lot of. Yes, he's not the best player, but to be honest, looking at some of those games, especially in the games when not that Fred has been bad, but in some of the games, especially in the season when Matic was in that side, he brought the calmness to that midfield and allowed Pogba and Bruno to do their stuff. You can see there's a difference. And as much as I like Fred, he's not a holding midfielder. Matic is essentially our only holding midfield player. And I just feel we play a lot better when he's around. I feel Pogba and Bruno play a lot better when he's around. If he was just a bit younger, I don't think we have a problem there. So, and we got to think that Matic actually wasn't playing at the beginning of the Solskjaer wasn't playing Matic. He was playing with Tommy and Fred. So sometimes I do wonder, had he played, let's say, Matic, and then maybe Fred a bit further forward, and then I don't know who would have played what, Andreas Pereira. I don't know in front of the front three. Maybe Mata, who knows? But I guess what I'm saying is that do we concede some of those goals if Matic is basically sort of there? I'm not 100% sure. You know what I mean? So that's my 5. KSI, bro, if you can hear me, what's your top 5 players?
Yeah, definitely. My top 5. Of course, I'm not going to be my season player. Number 5, I would go with Fred. Number 4, I'll go with Martial. Number 3, I go with Greenwood. Number 2, I go with Rashford. And number 1, I go with Lingard.
Playing games, man. We're playing games. We're playing games.
I mean, to be fair, Lingard scored the last goal of the season, didn't he?
Stop it, G. Don't entertain it, man. Nah, man.
He got us Champions League in the end. He got us
the Champions League winning goal.
G, stop it. Bro.
The Arsenal Cup. We got the Arsenal
Cup. The Arsenal Cup. Is that? Are you being serious about that? I'm sure you're not.
No, he's not.
No,
God.
Yeah. I go with I'd say I go with probably Wan-Bissaka then.
Okay.
Fernandes, he did it for half of the season, so I need to rate players full season. If Fernandes did it next season, like for the full season, then of course I'd give him Player of the Year. But for me, it has to go with AEB. His defensive was mint. Of course, ever since lockdown, not been the same, but I think he's probably been the Player of the Season. Let's be honest. He's helped the fridge. Not
slab it.
I'm gonna quickly read some of the comments.
I'm probably gonna head off now, and I'll see you you know what, on Monday then.
Cool. Yeah. I'll see you in a bit, buddy. You take care, Chief.
Bless my G.
Nice one.
Yeah, a bit, mate.
Nice.
Yes, in a bit.
Let me just quickly read some of the comments. We're going to go into our final topic. So, Ilya United says, I think this is still Harry Maguire positive defenders. Okay, let's move on from Harry Maguire. Sonny Law, shouts out to you. What's going on, Manchester United? Hope you're doing well, Sonny. Thank you for stopping by. Ilya says all rival clubs are buying players. Ed is walking dead in a he does say player of the season is Sir Phil Jones. That's just funny, for funny.
Referral.
And lastly, requiring mistakes just not mistakes that necessarily lead to goals. Yeah, okay, that's fair enough. I think you guys can both agree to disagree. But we'll basically just see what happens with the average Joe.
Oh, by the way, I'm not saying, just for the record, I don't think Harry Maguire is amazing. Don't get it messed up. That's not what I'm saying. But the point is, I tried hard to scrutinize him and realized he's not doing any worse than anyone else.
Yeah.
I tried to hate. I
think that's the reason also because, like, as I said to these Chelsea fans that I was bantering, you know, I think the issue is the price tag. I think that's why people are bantering. It's like if Maguire was 30-40 million, I don't think anyone would be having this conversation. It's like when people talking about Bruno, you know, Bruno was only 47, and people are saying, "Oh, he's overrated, overhyped." The guy is 47 million pounds. I don't care. Like he only got 47 million. He's already paid more than his fee in his performances. You know, so
and next year's shirt sales, sir.
Yeah, trust.
So final topic. So time for the bottom performers. And season 21 expectations. Well, I'll probably do a separate show at some point to talk about that. So let's just focus on Ollie before we round off. How would you actually rate Ole Gunnar Solskjaer this season overall? And going into next season, do you think that he will succeed as a Manchester United Football Club manager? Who would I start with? Shane, why don't you go?
I feel like he's grown and he is still growing with the role. In all honesty, I can't say any further than that. You know, he's grown with the role. However, that being said, the players are responding to him, or he's got the players responding. Obviously, bringing through Greenwood, Brandon Williams, but most importantly, he's got a tune out of Martial, who I was very skeptical about in regards to going into this season. I was saying, can he get 20 plus goals in all competition? Because obviously he hadn't done that before. Can he be that number 9? So Martial's performances have been, you know, nothing short of sensational at times. But for me, he's grown into the role. Jury's still out when it comes to the Champions League and tactical battles with other managers, that kind of stuff. So so far he's kind of, you know, he's come up once or twice with that. But for me, I think he's grown with the role and he will continue to grow into the role. So we've got to give him an opportunity with what he's done already. So for me, stick with the guy and let him keep growing with the players in Manchester United.
Okay. Chucky, what's your thoughts on Ollie this season and going forward, obviously?
Okay, if I was giving Ole Gunnar Solskjaer a grade, it would be a merit plus, distinction minus. Not quite a distinction. At the end of the day, send a man to war without any weapons, and he's like, you know, I'm still alive. Just send me a care package. I think I can make it out. And everyone's like, bro, you're not making it. You're gonna die. He's like, no, just send me a care package. No, seriously, I think I can make it through. I am a Norseman, you know what I mean? We got fighting in the blood, and then you know what I mean. So, boy, I thought Ole did well this season. He pulled it back around when his players came back, and with one signing, every signing he has made, Igalo even included, did what he was meant to do. So it means Ole knows what he's doing in that sense. Ole's inexperienced. We say he's learning on the job. He's been doing this for 10 years, guys. Just point that out there. That's 10 years. And by the way, I'm not saying he's right, complete, perfect, far from it. But Pep Guardiola walked into top teams and won with top teams. But is he a much, much better manager than Ole Gunnar Solskjaer? I'm not sure. He's definitely better, much better. I'm not sure. Ole's shown tactically he can take on one or two people. He's got a plan B. previously, but I think near the end of the season, we should have judged him on that. I feel Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, which is another thing I rate him for, is kind of letting the board knows I ain't making no subs because you ain't giving me the tools. So I think Ole's done all right. Next season, he'll improve again. That's what I think about Ole, man. He's done all right. But he's got a lot to learn still.
What would we grade him out of A to B then? A to F then. A being the best and
B plus
being the worst
for that season. That's what I said. I say merit plus. I give him a B plus.
I'd give him a B. I'd give him a B. Just for context, innit?
Yeah, I'd say the same. I think if we won a trophy, then I reckon B plus. Probably going into the A territory, to be fair. But yeah, I think getting Champions League at the start of the season, could we have asked for any more really from Solskjaer? I don't think we could with the squad we had. So I think a B is fairly fair.
Fair enough. Then Tom, would you agree?
Yeah, I would agree on obviously the season. You know, when we came into it at Christmas time, you said to any United fan, you know, we'll give you third place come, you know, I can't remember what month we finished in anyway, but, you know, because it's been a weird year and everything, but, you know, you give that to United fan, I think they would have bit your arm off, they bit your leg off, everything off, to be honest, because, you know, it was in that bad of a place. But, you know, this season, I think, he's dealt his critics with a massive blow, should we say. At the beginning of the season, you got to think, this man was number one bookies' favourite to be sacked first. You know, and people saying he's not been successful. You would have liked, you know, you've been to 3 semi-finals. Maybe you would have got to a final or possibly even won one. But obviously, it's progression because when last time we've probably even got to a semi-final in any sort of competition, not for a while at least. You know, and then maybe going that.
Wait.
Was it last season before?
In a semi-final? No, we got to the quarter-final of the
season before, innit?
The quarter-final.
Yeah. Chelsea.
Yeah. FA Cup final in Mourinho's second season, wasn't it? Like 17-18.
Yeah, I think so. We lost it to Chelsea. Yeah, that was thanks to Phil Jones and all. Anyway, you know, I just think obviously Ollie's obviously sent a message to the board by not making substitutions. He knows that he needs more than what's on the bench. You know, you can't win anything with crap. You know, you put Guardiola in the team, you know, Klopp, anybody. They're not going to win with this team, let's be fair. You know, who's going to win with such as Phil Jones as a centre-back option or, you know, any other just crap players, to be honest. But, you know, that's
Tom loves Phil Jones, boy.
But obviously, I just think that he's obviously sending a clear message to the board. But I'll be honest. I'll be honest with you. You know, at Christmas time, if he doesn't get the signs that he wants, the same thing happened with Mourinho. He didn't get the signs that he wanted. The season went into a tailspin. He ended up getting sacked. You know, it could be exactly the same here. You know, he wants players. He wants such as Sancho and stuff. The board aren't prepared to go and buy him these players. Regardless of the price, you back the manager. You know, regardless of if you've got to pay 1 million or you've got to pay 500 million, you back your manager. It's as simple as that. You want to get back to the top, you've got to back whoever's in charge. And if you don't do that, you're never going to get back there. But, you know, it's a case of stick with the manager because we've chopped and changed managers since Sir Alex Ferguson for 7 years and nothing's worked. You know, Ollie's not had his fair share of the profits, should we say. Mourinho spent over 300 million. Van Gaal spent money. Moyes spent a wee bit of money. He didn't spend a lot because he weren't in the job that long. But give him the time and give him the same amount of money that other managers have had. That's all that I'd say. But, you know, back the manager because it's a case of we're walking to next season and I'll go with the same quote. You either back him or you sack him. That'll be the quote because the board, obviously, you don't back a manager, they don't succeed. Guardiola didn't get the players at Man City. Do you think he'd have won 2 Premier League titles back to back? No. I'd beg to differ. So, the case of you back the manager or you sack him, it's as simple as that.
Fair enough. Just quickly before I give my thoughts and looking just at the comments. Let's see. Okay, yeah. So, Ollie. So, Average Joe says, Ilya says United is obsessed with British players playing Maguire 80, Rice 70, Brooks 50, Grealish. I do think that British players. There's a reason for that. There is a reason for that, but I do agree that that we. If there's one thing I'm a bit concerned about the sort of United policy is that, like, are we limiting our scope when it comes when it comes to looking at additional players from abroad, from other places, like a Van der Beek that would cost maybe between 30 to 40 million, because we want to get Declan Rice, who West Ham are going to release for, say, 70. So I agree that is a problem. Average Joe says he rates Ollie 6.5 out of 10. He is tactically inept during games. If he reached a fine, I would have gave him a 7, but he makes no tactical changes during the games. And Ilya says Ollie's a 7. He has the same tactics all 90 minutes, and his substitutions aren't good enough. And Ilya says average his substitutions. We don't have the bench players. I don't trust the players. Anything?
That's just down to the players available, though, isn't it? In terms of tactically making the substitutions and whatnot, if you don't have the players to change it, like was crying out for a different type of striker, then he went and got Aguero on loan. So for me, if you don't have the players available, how do you then tactically?
Well, we did sell Lukaku, didn't we? We did. I'm not going to bring that up. I'm not going to go into results. I'm not going to, because I'm not going to say the United were wrong to let Lukaku go. But I sort of semi-agree with Average Joe, not completely, but there is a part of me that sort of thinks that there were a lot of games this season where I do think that Ollie tactically did not get it right. I think obviously the FA Cup game against Chelsea for me was a good example.
That was horrible.
Yeah.
I don't know what was going on there, so the whole playing, okay, well, we played through the back before again, let's just do it again, playing the same sort of system. Work. Go on.
Let me point something out to you. But then Ollie did that. We all watched Pep, didn't we? Right? We saw what Pep did. And Pep's a lot better, apparently. And Pep did the exact same thing. It's just context, people. As in, let's judge everyone with the same bar. You know what I mean?
No,
anyway, that's all.
No, I absolutely agree. In fact, I would even go a strand further and say a lot of people are talking about defense and stuff like that. But if you want to talk about Pep, actually, since he's been to be honest, any club he's been to be honest, but let's just say City, can you name me a defender like that he's actually improved?
It's not his forte.
Can you think don't think Company was good before Pep came? Company was good before and Company was good during Pep. And I think if Company wasn't there, personally, I don't think City, or I think City struggle, or it's a lot harder for them to win some of their titles.
Can I answer that in a roundabout way?
Go on.
So to the question that Chucky asked earlier with regards to is Pep a better manager than Ollie?
No, he is.
He's a better manager in terms of he's been in the school he was brought up in terms of the Barca thing, but he was given the Barcelona team, man, with superstars. He was given the Bayern
inherited, man,
with superstars, and the same thing with City. So I'm like, okay, so
I'm buying.
Yeah, exactly.
Course, yeah.
So
if anything, you could argue,
Bayern. They won a trouble the season before he got there. He didn't win the trouble with Bayern.
He didn't get into a Champions League final with Bayern Munich, and that squad, I would argue that he inherited was a lot better than this squad that's in the CL final now. You peak Robin, peak Ribery, peak Lewandowski, peak Neuer, peak Boateng, peak Alaba. Lahm, peak Lahm. Absolute powerhouse, and you weren't able to use that to get to her because you overcomplicated things. But anyway, it's not a Pep thing. So, but yeah, I was just sort of saying that I do think that tactically needs to get better. And even though there is an argument that people say, "Oh, we don't have the quality on the bench," to be honest, I still think you need to still use those subs. You still need to give them time. I personally didn't see what was inherently wrong with Gallo before lockdown. He is a different type of player, and I think he would have been useful coming on. Even Lingard, as not great as he was, he at least gives fresh legs. He gives the defenders something to worry about. So that Sevilla game for me that we lost it, yes, because we didn't take our chances. We lost it, yes, because we were poor defensively. But I also think we lost it because we could have made some substitutions. These players were playing non-stop for 75 minutes. Sevilla made 3 or 4. Got fresh players in, and obviously they scored a goal. I think one of the substitutions that came on to score.
Luke de Jong, yeah.
Exactly. So I think he needs to get tactically better. I think that he needs to at least, if he's not going to get backed, he just has to unfortunately just trust what he has. And they might surprise him. You never know, like Lingard scoring a second goal. You know what I mean?
But my man, Bro,
Yeah.
he did that earlier in the season, though. He did that against Tottenham. He did that against Liverpool. He did that against Chelsea. He did that against all the top teams in the Premier League. He did play those dead players. Some people say player and play. So, but I honestly think you might say right or wrong. I think it's a message. No, I swear to God, I genuinely think it's a damn right message that to the board, as in, I don't trust what's there. They ain't gonna change nothing for me. But I hear what you're saying, though. But then some people could also argue you don't just make subs for the sake of making subs. But then it was that dire. You're going out of a damn cup. You know what I mean? So I hear you, bro. I hear you.
I'm not gonna, because we don't have time. I'm not gonna talk about the whole Sergio Romero De Gea kind of thing. You know, dropping stuff. I mean, you know.
Do you think it's contractual?
Sorry.
I'll send it for another show. Anyway, but I was gonna say, do you think that's
we'll discuss because
that could be a contract thing, you know.
I don't. That he's got to play in final.
Look at it. He doesn't play. De Gea doesn't turn up to semi-final. It could be a contract thing. It could be.
Maybe. I just think that if Mourinho could play Romero for the whole Europa League, I didn't quite understand why the same thing sort of happens. So, but it is what it is. Anyway,
he's had a new contract, isn't it? Maybe it's a contract.
It's gotta be.
No, I'm serious.
It's gotta be. But then, if that's the case, then Romero will probably leave if Dean Henderson.
He is. That's how I see it. I think that's what's gonna happen.
Yeah.
I
would hate him to go to like a rival team, like a Chelsea or a Leeds even.
He better don't do that.
I heard stuff about Leeds. To be fair, I was a bit worried. I'm worried, but
don't do me like that, bro.
Right, guys. Thank you guys so much for coming on. Sorry, I think I overestimated how much there was just to talk about. I should have.
I talk too much, bro. Sorry, man.
Yeah, me too. I'll hold my hand up for that as well. You know.
It's been good. I'll just leave it to like maybe 3 topics next time, so like 5 or 6 or something, you know. But thanks everyone for coming on. Thanks everyone. Shout out to Ilya and Average in the comments. Thank you so much for getting involved. Please check out Chucky's channel, United at the Wheel. Check out the Red Devil Weekly as well. Check out the United Man. They produce a lot of really, really, really good content. And are just amazing guys. And hopefully we can do stuff like this again in the future, especially as the new season is only a few weeks away. Have a nice day, everyone.